You step outside and the ground beneath your feet feels completely permanent, right? It feels rock solid, unchanging. But modern geology has revealed a spectacular reality. Our supposedly static world is actually in constant, relentless motion. Today in this explainer, we're pulling back the curtain on our planet. We're going to look at the hidden forces moving entire continents, building mountains, and literally reshaping the map of the world as we know it. Let's get into it.
So what if everything you believe about the stability of the ground beneath your feet is just an illusion? Because, well, it kind of is. Our daily human perception totally tricks us. We live our whole lives on a planet that appears perfectly still, but that stillness is really just a matter of scale. Earth is alive with movement. It's just that this movement happens on a timeline so incredibly vast and slow, we simply don't notice it in a single human lifetime. To put this massive geological movement into a perspective we can actually wrap our heads around, get this. The continents are drifting across the planet, but they're doing it at an average speed of just a few centimeters a year. To give you a perfect comparison, look at your hands. That is exactly the same speed your fingernails grow. Just imagine that. The literal ground you're sitting on right now is traveling right this very second at the exact speed of a growing fingernail. Absolutely wild. Section 1. Earth's hidden geological engine. Let's dive into the mechanics and look at the forces driving it all. Here's the incredible mechanism making all of this movement happen. Mantle convection. This is literally the engine of our planet. Think of the inside of the Earth like a massive, very slow boiling pot of thick soup. Step 1. Deep down, the incredibly hot inner core heats the semi-solid rock of the mantle. Step 2. Because hot things are less dense, this tremendously hot molten rock slowly rises up toward the surface. Step 3. As it gets closer to the crust, it cools down and spreads out, moving laterally beneath the surface. And finally, Step 4. As it cools, it gets denser and heavier, sinking right back down towards the core to be heated all over again. This continuous, slow-boiling thermal cycle creates massive convection currents, and it's these currents that literally drag the heavy tectonic plates floating right above them. Section 2. The shifting surface. Let's zoom back out and look at continents in motion. If we were to rewind the clock 250 million years, you absolutely wouldn't recognize our map. All the major landmasses were smashed together into a single supercontinent we call Pangaea. By 135 million years ago, those convection currents we just talked about had started pulling the supercontinent apart, opening up brand new oceans. Fast forward to present day, and those fingernail speed movements have carried the continents to the exact positions we know today. And remember, they haven't stopped. The map is still changing right now. As these massive tectonic plates travel, they interact at their boundaries, and honestly, things get pretty dramatic. When these massive slabs of rock crash into one another, pull apart, or grind past each other, they create the most extreme geological features on Earth. This is exactly why we have earthquakes. It's why volcanoes erupt. It's how deep ocean trenches and vast mid-ocean ridges are formed. When two plates collide head-on, all that incredible pressure has nowhere to go but up, resulting in massive mountain uplift. The Himalayas, for example, they're actually still growing today because the Indian plate is slowly crashing into the Eurasian plate. Now, there is a crucial distinction here we need to understand: the lithosphere. This is the rigid outer shell of the Earth, encompassing the crust and the very top of the mantle. It's what the tectonic plates are actually made of. I want to make this crystal clear. Mountains do not just glide independently across the surface of the Earth like blocks of ice on a table. Not at all. Instead, they are deeply rooted into the lithosphere. As the plates are dragged by the mantle's convection currents, they carry entire continents, oceans, and towering mountain ranges right along with them as one single unit. Now, you might be thinking that all these tectonic processes, earthquakes, shifting plates, erupting volcanoes, sound incredibly destructive. But here's the catch. These seemingly destructive forces are absolutely essential for maintaining a habitable planet. The shifting plates drive the long-term carbon cycle, pulling carbon deep into the Earth and then releasing it through volcanoes. This acts as a massive climate regulator over millions of years. The changing shapes of our oceans dictate ocean circulation, which recycles essential nutrients. And the constant formation and separation of continents create diverse, evolving habitats that actually drive the incredible variety of life on Earth. So, to put it simply, no tectonics, no us. Part 3, the Quranic perspective, specifically Surah An-Naml. Let's look at this concept through an ancient lens. This is a deeply thought-provoking verse. It reads, "And you see the mountains, thinking them rigid, while they pass as the passing of clouds." It's a remarkably poetic description that perfectly captures the exact human illusion we talked about at the beginning of this explainer.
We look at massive, towering mountains and perceive absolute stillness, right? Absolute rigidity. Yet reality involves a silent, relentless motion, very much like clouds drifting across the sky. Now, it's really important to be highly objective and balanced when we analyze text like this. When we look at classical Quranic commentators in their Tafsir, they generally interpreted this verse as describing the catastrophic, world-ending events of the Day of Judgment, when the earth will literally be unmade. However, with the advent of plate tectonics, some contemporary Muslim scholars and writers have begun to reflect on this verse in a completely new light. They connect the imagery of moving mountains to the hidden geological motion of our tectonic plates. The really important takeaway here is not to force an exaggerated scientific miracle claim onto an ancient text. Rather, this verse stands beautifully as a broad invitation to observe and reflect on the precision and gradual nature of creation. It bridges the gap between scientific inquiry and spiritual contemplation. Whether you're looking at it through the lens of modern geology or scriptural reflection, the core message is one of profound awe at the complexity and hidden dynamics of the world we inhabit.
Which brings us to our final thought. The earth beneath your feet feels perfectly permanent, yet it has literally never stopped moving. Some of the most powerful processes in nature are so slow and so incredibly vast that we barely even register them as we go about our days. It really inspires a sense of humility, doesn't it? As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this question. What other unseen forces are shaping our world right now, quietly working beneath the surface of our everyday lives? Thank you so much for exploring this with me. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next one.